on this Tuesday evening here at Ursprung Gymnasium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's Ohio Athletic Conference wrestling action as the Yellow Jackets host the visiting Otterbein Cardinals. I'm Cole McDaniel. Joining me tonight is Tanner McHugh. And Tanner, it's great to be with you once again.
It's real exciting to be back in my alma mater gym again and be joined alongside you. I'm sure a lot of people tuning in are excited to see the Yellow Jackets back in action at home, and we got a good crowd out here tonight too as the band comes marching in. This is exciting.
Yeah, and of course as the lights are out here, as the starting lineup's about to be announced for the Yellow Jackets. Getting really a drum line going as some of the pep band making their way over. So great atmosphere tonight for some Ohio Athletic Conference wrestling. And Ursprung Gymnasium, a gym where the Yellow Jackets, well, they're very rarely beaten. And this is a tough test for the Otterbein Cardinals. And we'll get to these starting lineups here in just a moment and talk about these matchups. But the Yellow Jackets, they're going to start out with a quick 12 team points. The Cardinals deciding to forfeit at 125 and 133. So it's going to be a nice start for the Yellow Jackets team-wise. Fairly easy to begin the night, and we're going to be getting this start at the 141-pound weight class. Before we take a look at those lineups, what was going on for these teams in the last couple of weeks, really for the Yellow Jackets. They had a really successful bout at the Spartan Nat Classic in Manchester, finished second out of 23 teams. Plenty of teams out there, and again, finishing that high, and that's what you expect out of a fifth-ranked program in the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and that's a very impressive showing heading into a conference competition here against Otterbein. Manchester's a tournament where you're seeing NAIA, some JUCO, some Division II teams, and to take second out of that many teams, especially of all those calibers, just kind of shows what we're in for tonight and what Baldwin Wallace is going to bring up against Otterbein here.
Now Otterbein, they're spending a lot of time up in the Cleveland area, as their last time out on Saturday, they went up against Washington and Jefferson, Hiram, and Case Western Reserve at the Case Western Reserve duels, and actually fared very well. Won all of those matches there as a team. And the last one, really the most impressive victory there, a close one against Case Western Reserve, 22-17 as a team. So again, you've got the confidence coming into this tonight against the Yellow Jackets. You know it's a tough test. But you have to feel good about what you've been piecing together if you're the Cardinals. A program that you talked to me about before we hopped on air here as well. A group that's really improving.
Of course, yeah, especially a program like Otterbein that in retrospect is relatively new. Not even sure if they're 10 years old yet in the wrestling scene. And to go 3-0 on the weekend, maybe they got a little banged up there while they're missing their first two weights. But honestly, if you're a team like Otterbein that's definitely improving, maybe not up to the Yellow Jackets standard just yet, they definitely can potentially swing momentum their way potentially in this match, and that's what they're going to have to do already down 12-0 heading into this bout.
Well, and early in the Ohio Athletic Conference season, Otterbein really lurking in that fourth spot, and it's not surprising the three programs at the top. Ohio Northern, John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace, all three programs that are ranked in the top 25. And actually, interestingly enough, this coming Saturday, it's going to be Muskingum, Baldwin Wallace, Ohio Northern, and John Carroll all facing off. Feel a little bit sorry for Muskingum there. That's a tough test, a tough road to go up against all those programs on the same weekend. But a lot coming up for the Yellow Jackets and really all across Ohio Athletic Conference wrestling. Tonight, on this Tuesday night, a couple programs in action. Wilmington going up against John Carroll. Of course, we have this one here in Heidelberg and Muskingum facing off themselves as well. So we'll take a look at the starting lineups here for both of these programs, and of course we'll step aside for a moment once we get to the national anthem here in a moment. But for Otterbein, forfeit at 125 and 133. At 141, Tomas Eder. At 149, Nathan Lecco. At 157, Austin Ammons. 165, Ryan Whitten. 174, Logan Cormel. 184, Kyle DeMoss. 197, Jared Setliff. And heavyweight, Zach Stray. We'll be right back for the Yellow Jackets starting lineup after the national anthem. And we're back here on BWYellowJackets.com. Cole McDaniel and Tanner McHugh. Right before the national anthem here at Ursprung Gymnasium, went over the starting lineup for Otterbein. We'll take a look at the 5th-ranked Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets here now. Well, at 125 and 133, both Jacob Decatur and Jaden Hinton, both guys ranked in the top 10. Mentioned that Otterbein forfeiting at both of those weight classes, so it's going to be a very short night for Decatur and Hinton. Expect those guys to be over on the bikes, though, during that time and still working up a sweat, I would assume. Then we start at 141. It will be Robbie Palmieri. At 149, first-ranked Michael Petrella. 157, Manny Skordas. 165, Hunter Kupnewski. 174, Carter Lloyd. At 184, Griffin Rathburn. At 197, 4th-ranked Doug Byrne. And heavyweight, Matthew Wirtz. So again, you're going to see the Decatur and Hinton still make their way out on the mat, of course, for the forfeits here. Of course, 6 points for each forfeit. So an early 12 team points for the Yellow Jackets, and they're going to have really a quick start. Again, not sure exactly why Otterbein decided to forfeit, whether that's injuries or just deciding to rest some guys. Not exactly sure of what their plan is there for that, but hey, like I said, we will start at the 141-pound weight class, and for the Yellow Jackets, let me ask you this here, Tanner. So when you're at a weight class like 141, or you're one of those guys that's normally in the middle, what's it like when you end up being the first guy to wrestle when you're not usually the first one out on the mat?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I know a lot of middleweight guys are always ready to go, but it's definitely a mind shift. You kind of got to, we like to call it a shotgun routine, where it's sort of got to put yourself in the realm of you didn't have any time to really do your normal preparation, so you just got to be ready to go, got to get your feet underneath you, and like Palmieri's doing here, just getting right to it here for the early takedown.
Yeah, and a quick 2 points there for Palmieri, junior out of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania.
And this is really exciting here. I know just due to the talent and depth of the Yellow Jackets roster, Palmieri not normally the starter here, so it's exciting to see him go out there, whether it's due to injuries or resting guys, but it's exciting to see such depth, especially when they go out there and get that opening takedown.
And so Palmieri going to work right now, getting still in that top position here at the moment. There's the escape, and 1 point for Eder. I expect Palmieri to come right back in and look to get another 2 quickly.
And if you're Eder here, you really got to switch the tide in your favor for Otterbein here, whether it's some bonus point wins or just a win in general, just sort of switch the tide a little bit, or else it could get a little ugly here if BW starts marching their way to a couple more wins even after the forfeits.
Palmieri going to a knee a couple times, getting low. Eder defending it well the first couple times, and Palmieri looking to get some position here at the moment. Eder doing a good job holding off at the moment, though. And there's the 2 for Palmieri.
And back to your original question, here's something where Palmieri might have had just a little bit more willingness to go out there and just get things moving, even though he's not normally the guy, and Eder might just be a little off here. Might take him a period to get used to being the first guy out there. Because if you think about it, 125s, they get that hour after weigh-ins, might not be a lot, especially if you're losing a lot of weight, where 141, they have a whole, in theory, 14 minutes, 2 7-minute matches, but obviously we know a little longer here, so
right.
Some guys' legs might still not be underneath them after just an hour after weigh-ins.
So right now, a pretty good start, though, for Palmieri. Maybe a little bit slower on the start here, but he's still up 4-1 currently, and now surpassing 1 minute of riding time, down to 50 seconds remaining in the first period.
For sure, and riding out here would be big, giving them a lot of wiggle room on the riding time, leading into other periods, helping out a game plan for the second and third for sure.
Tomas Eder, a sophomore out of Delaware.
Palmieri doing a great job of controlling that wrist, actually looking to get some back points here. Didn't break that plane.
So an opportunity here still with 15 seconds remaining in the period for Palmieri to continue to rack up the riding time, see if he can get some back points. Unable to turn Eder there.
And yeah, all coming down to him controlling that wrist there. Eder not being able to get anything going with his head just on the mat.
So that will do it for the first period of the night. And Palmieri finds himself up 4-1 as the Yellow Jackets are up 12-0 as a team.
First time we see Palmieri down here. See if Eder can get stuff working up on top.
And Palmieri getting to his feet. That left leg of Eder tried to have Palmieri wrapped around and a return to the mat. Well done by Eder to try to chip away at that riding time that was built up in the first period. Palmieri gets out and there's the escape, 5-1.
Good job there by Palmieri, just sort of feeling it. Sometimes when guys still got a little bit of energy up there on top, it's easier said than done to get out from underneath, so he just did a good job, stayed patient, and waited for that opening, and now gets the escape right to another takedown, really showing what he's made of on his feet.
So Palmieri perhaps starting to ramp things up here a little bit more in the second period after getting settled in the first. Now up 7-1. Down to about a minute remaining here in the second period. And now 2 minutes of riding time up on the scoreboard.
And if you're the BW coaching staff here, you might already start thinking of the major potential here, the bonus point potential. I know Palmieri's been pretty close to that 2-on-1 tilt here. But they also might play, yep, here it is, the cut and release game. Try to get some of those takedowns to rock up the score.
Yeah, and have to believe that Eder may be wearing down a little bit as Palmieri was racking up that riding time. Again, it's exhausting working from that bottom position, and you saw Palmieri take advantage of it. There was the quick escape, but Eder hardly had any time to react after the escape, and Palmieri right back in for the 2 points.
Yeah, and that's the best time to score. We used to always say the best time to score is after you just scored, after the last one. So gets that quick escape, like you said, and then right back in on it before Eder can even think of how to defend himself.
That will do it for the second period, and we're about to move to the third. Palmieri with a 9-2 advantage. 2 minutes and 52 seconds of riding time, so riding time point nearly locked up as well. Not too far away from that being locked up, so we'll see what Palmieri can do. I expect him to be aggressive still here in this third period, maybe a little bit of that quick release and getting back in for multiple takedowns.
Beautiful headlock there. I was thinking he's doing really well with those double legs. We wanted to see if he would try something else in the front head, and he sure does. Goes for the headlock there. Wasn't able to get any back points, but really nice form there and everything by Palmieri.
He's showing off his strength and a powerful move to get the 2 points. The quick escape for Eder, and Palmieri now working at that right leg, and there's a second takedown in a matter of 15 seconds, and there's the pin. The fall on the edge of the mat. Great finish there by Palmieri with a minute and 21 seconds remaining in the third period.
Really well done there by Palmieri. All kind of led to riding tough there, just wearing them down throughout the whole match, and then Eder just didn't have anything left, went right into that cradle, and it was easy after that. Really well done just from all positions by Palmieri.
Well, it's kind of like we talked about. The first period really felt like Palmieri was getting his feet under him, getting settled in. And that second period, all that riding time really seemed to wear Eder down. And by the third, I think Eder was a little bit exhausted, and Palmieri took advantage of that.
For sure, as we now head into 149, as we look at returning national runner-up, Michael Petrella here.
Yeah, and ranked first in the country at the 149-pound weight class, the junior out of Reynoldsburg. Wrestled at Bishop Hartley in high school. Yellow Jackets up 18-0.
And last time we covered the Yellow Jackets here, he was at 157, and I thought he was looking pretty massive then, but definitely a size discrepancy here, I feel like, now that he's back down at maybe a more natural weight class.
So Nathan Lecco, the junior out of Solon, has his hands full here with Petrella. No scoring yet here through the first 45 seconds, but we know Petrella is a very talented, smart wrestler. And you really see Lecco right now doing everything he can to kind of keep those legs as far away from Petrella as possible.
Yeah, Lecco doing a great job almost staying in what would look like a compromising position, but is doing a good job of just holding on to arms when he gets put in that front head. However, it's looking like Petrella's getting real close to score here, but like I said, Lecco's just got a really nice grip in that front head position.
Petrella trying to wrap around, got his hand on the right ankle, hasn't been able to get to the left, and there's the 2. Really felt like a good 30 seconds working in that same position. Again, kind of spinning around there, and Lecco was doing everything he could to keep that other foot away, but Petrella staying after it. Now up 2-0. A minute and 15 seconds remaining here in the first period.
A really good job there for Petrella. When you're this high in the rankings and everyone knows you from your last year results, you're definitely going to be scouted a good bit. So sometimes you just got to be patient before you can start working on guys and wearing on them here now with Petrella up on the top position, which is one of his best, even though arguably he's good in all 3 positions.
Yeah, and really through the first little bit of this period, Petrella was trying to find a way to get the first takedown. Wasn't much riding time. Now an opportunity to rack up riding time, but in a dangerous position. Lecco is in trouble right now.
That does not look comfy for him. Petrella trying to sink in here, get the fall to not go in the second period.
Yeah, and Petrella had Lecco in deep, and again, that is not a comfortable position, and have to give wrestlers a ton of credit for the flexibility that they have. Again, shoulder there, just not quite on the mat as Lecco was able to keep that up and somehow managed to get out of that. But the 4 back points given, and now Petrella has a 6-0 advantage, and going to be about a minute and a half of riding time as we're about to wrap up this first period, unless Petrella can end it with 4 seconds left.
What a dangerous wrestler is Michael Petrella. Just always getting in what looks like unorthodox positions, but just leads right to his advantage.
Yeah, the guy never quits, it appears. You know, some wrestlers with 4 seconds left in the first period would just be done and move on to the second, but Petrella wanted more, thought he could finish it.
Yeah, no, definitely never content until the clock hits 0.
So Petrella in the down position. And a quick escape. Here's the point, and now 7-0 advantage for Petrella. There's a shot, and Lecco missed there. Petrella quick, very cat-like there to get out of the way and able to get the 2 points there with the takedown.
And that's sort of just wearing on him there in that first period from the top position. Early on, Lecco was getting in on those legs, or at least being able to defend it, and now can't get much going. Petrella's starting to pick away at it a little easier each time.
Petrella keeping those legs sprawled back here at the moment.
Ref going to call a stalemate here. So again, Lecco does have a good grip when he does get in, just can't seem to work it up to his feet. Props to Petrella there, though, on the leg defense.
Under a minute remaining in the second period. Again, you're watching and listening live here on BWYellowjackets.com. You're in the 149-pound weight class as the Yellow Jackets currently hold an 18-0 team advantage. There's 2 points there for Petrella.
Once again, another not comfortable looking position here for Lecco, but seems like he's just got real flexible limbs here as Petrella's trying to work him over for some back points, but can't get anything going here as they circle out of bounds.
Yeah, Lecco really certainly has some flexibility there in those shoulders. Petrella was really trying to turn him and had a good hold there on that right arm. Back to the center of the mat here. 11-2, Petrella in. On the legs for another 2 points. 13-2.
Really well done there, going for that takedown with only 25 seconds. Definitely not easy to do no matter who you are here. Just put a lot of urgency in them there heading into the third period. So really good job here with the major already secured up here.
So at the end of the second period, score of 13-2 in favor of Michael Petrella over Nathan Lecco. 1 minute and 59 seconds of riding time so far for Petrella. And as you mentioned, already has the major decision wrapped up, but Petrella not done, looking for more. He's had Lecco in some deep positions a few times, trying to get that pin.
Wow. That's what I love about watching Petrella wrestle. Just every takedown, it seems like it's just something different that you don't see every day, and it's, yeah, very unique how he's scoring here. Might not be the most traditional way, but definitely unique and fun to watch.
Petrella definitely has a diverse book of tricks that he can go to, and plenty of moves at his disposal.
And that's kind of what you need at his level for sure. And just doing a great job of just getting to every single position.
So 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining. 17-4 is now the score.
Yellow Jacket coaches elect not to cut him this time. Petrella going to get to work on top here. Got a lot of time, about a minute.
Yeah, and an opportunity here now. That riding time point should be locked up. And now, Lecco in a deep position again. His right shoulder's down, left shoulder's not down yet at this point. Petrella working on him at the moment. Gets that leg around, and that's a key move.
Yeah, that's really tight. Lecco just doing a good job. Once again, his flexibility, props there.
This is almost impossible to continue to stay up, and there it is. There's the pin. Saw it coming, and that's just smart wrestling there from Petrella.
Really smart there, because if he would have got up, it would have just been the tech fall, automatic tech fall, but instead kept him there, had plenty of time, and got the pinfall in the end.
Well, the key there was he already had him in the deep position. You saw when that left leg came across really the chest there of Lecco. As good as Lecco's been at keeping his other shoulder off of the mat, been a few times throughout this tonight, but not going to be able to there with how much time was still on the clock. So now the Yellow Jackets, after that fall, taking a 24-0 team advantage, and we move to the 157-pound weight class. Manny Scordos, freshman out of Brecksville, going up against Austin Ammons, the junior out of Galleon.
Really cool here to see a freshman in the lineup. Scordos make his debut here in Ursprung Gym.
Yeah, it says a lot about a wrestler when in this very talented program that has a lot of depth in Baldwin Wallace. When you see a freshman out on the mat, again, that's really an honor for this program to get that time out there. The coaching staff, again, they like to get guys time so they get to be experienced and be prepared for the future. But has to feel good anytime you're out there as a freshman.
Of course, yeah, no, like you said, just the depth of the Yellow Jacket room and everything. Yeah, to get out there as a freshman, whether you're the guy now or later, it is awesome. It means you're right there in the hunt to make an impact for yourself.
Still zeros on the scoreboard here at this point. Both wrestlers still feeling each other out.
Scorers here looking to try and get that front head to the mat. Props to staying up. Both guys taking some half shot attempts, but nothing really going on here that can cause some serious damage for a takedown just yet.
Yeah, and have to stay. Can't really come out here and cover Yellow Jacket Wrestling without talking about how really no matter what night of the week it is, credit to the supporters, the crowd that always comes out and watches some Yellow Jacket Wrestling. It's a great atmosphere, great environment once again here tonight. Mentioned when those starting lineup introductions happened as well. Really had a drum line as well as some of the pep band came out. Of course, just a great atmosphere and a fun night here for a Tuesday night.
For sure, yeah, and that just is props to the success of the Yellow Jackets and alumni and friends of alumni and just friends of the community all coming out, which is great, and just the area of wrestling in Northeast Ohio. I know I saw some local high schools walk in, which is really a testament that they're coming to this out of all things, which is really awesome to see and shows the word gets out about Yellow Jacket Wrestling.
So Ammon's a wrestler who had some pretty good success here this past weekend at those Case Western duels as well, seeing if he can get the first team points on the night here for the Otterbein Cardinals. Look close to scoring at the end of the first period. Officials say no, and so first period still wraps up 0-0 between Skordos and Ammons. And Skordos will start in the down position.
Curious to see here how Skordos does in the down position. Definitely one of the biggest things for true freshmen is just the down position. They're just not used to the college grind of it just yet, but looks like he's staying up. Here's what you'll have to do against leg riders. Don't want to get flattened out here. And Skordos doing a good job so far. Almond's not making it easy, though, by any means.
No, not at all. It looks like Skordos again really trying to back out of that right now. Hammond's really on the front of Skordos at the moment.
This is a really tight position here. Almond's getting a little high, but just controlling the wrist there for Skordos. Can't allow Skordos to really move much more, even though he's not in too dangerous of a position.
So the full first minute here, the second period. Ammons has still just been working on top. So now has a minute of riding time at the moment. And just see that Skordos is really trying to back up. He was putting his weight back in his hips, doing everything he could to get back. And that was an excellent 2 points he just picked up himself there.
Excellent reversal there at a good time. Riding time was just getting over a minute, and I think some wrestlers start to panic when it gets a little over a minute, might throw the game plan out the window, but the match isn't over then, so getting that reversal, and as we see, the riding time's already ticking down, so definitely great there, not just getting the escape, but getting the reversal here, and a ride-out would be huge, too, heading into the third, leading 2-0.
Well, and the way that Skordos got out of that is really impossible for Ammons to really do anything with it, because Skordos, again, put that weight back, and Ammons' back was turned to him. Good takedown, and now Skordos really has an extra ounce of energy, it seems, after that reversal.
Really nice cradle there by Skordos. It's almost like how tricky it was to get out, almost put Ammons in a worse position leading to that, and now going from almost going to the third, leading on riding time, now down 6-0 with his choice.
Yeah, so got those back points there at the end of the second period, which was huge there for Skordos. Credit to the freshman. Great showing so far. Time to finish it off here in the third period and get more points for the Yellow Jackets team against Ohio Athletic Conference opponent Otterbein.
Almond's looking like trying to get a roll out there. Skordos just doing a good job of following.
And so Skordos at the end of the second period, and now here start of the third period, has wiped away any riding time that Ammons had.
And that's one of the fun parts about wrestling. Just about a minute and a half ago, it looked like Skordos was going to be giving up riding time, and now riding time could eventually go in his favor in the long run, which is crazy to think. And props to the freshman here for the Yellow Jackets, just staying really calm, patient, and posed.
Yeah, and things can change quickly in this sport. Again, there's a lot of activity and a lot that goes on in those 7 minutes. It's an exhausting 7 minutes, really exhilarating. And again, always an opportunity for wrestlers, no matter how the first period went or the second period. You can change it in the third, or you can change it in the second.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a game of tactics, but it can change just like that. Things can go right out the window, and that's definitely what happened in this match now. Is Skoros is just controlling here from the top position. Electing to let him go here, looking to probably get a takedown for the major decision now that he locked up, or excuse me, didn't lock up Ryan Time, but has Ryan Time in his favor.
So the one escape point now for Ammons. 6-1's the score, 19 seconds remaining in the third and final period. See if Skordos can get in, and unable to capitalize there on that shot. And looks like that's pretty much going to be it for the action here at the 157-pound weight class.
And wasn't able to get the major there, but still really impressive there for the freshman. A little bit of a slow first period, but then explosion in the second, and just controlled the rest of the match there, and that's sometimes what you got to do.
Really a huge second period, though, for Manny Skordos, the freshman out of Brecksville. Gained the decision, the 3 points for the Yellow Jackets, and now BW leads 27-0. Now at the 165-pound weight class, it's Hunter Kipnewski, the junior from North Royalton, going up against Ryan Whitten.
Real exciting match here. Kipnewski's having himself a great year. Really showed some developments from the off season and years before, taking second at Manchester, looking real impressive there from what I saw. And then Whitten obviously was a national qualifier during the 2020 season and a regional placer. So should be a fun matchup here for sure. Definitely one to circle for people watching at home.
Yeah, this is probably one that many people had circled, not only just for viewers out there and for the fans, but for the coaching staffs as well. Otterbein probably looks at this as one of their best chances to get points tonight with the senior and Ryan Whitten out of Dayton, wrestled at Troy Christian in high school, and of course Kipnewski, also a junior, so these are really two guys that would be considered veterans. They're upperclassmen. This is a good matchup.
Definitely a great match test here in the middle of the week for them both. Whitten looking like he's controlling center here, but as people who've watched before, Kipnewski is just anything can happen with him. Even if you're in his legs, have him on his back, he can quickly shift the tides. He's a fun wrestler to watch.
Both of these wrestlers still feeling each other out. 0-0 on the scoreboard, a minute and a half remaining in the first period. There's a quick spin from Whitten. Kipnewski didn't fall for that. Stayed square and fended it off well. Now a little bit more activity with the hand fighting. Both wrestlers getting back to the center of the mat.
Yeah, tide shifted a little bit in both guys. Whitten was pushing the pace there for a little bit, then Kipnewski, and now back to sort of feeling each other out here, which you get sometimes from two high-level wrestlers. Maybe not so much feeling each other out, but just sort of two immovable forces that can't get much going. They both got too much energy right now.
Well, you want to take a shot at some point, but you want to take a smart shot.
Of course, yeah.
And when you're going
well
up
said.
against a talented wrestler, again, you don't want to put yourself in a bad position. So, again, they're both looking for that opportunity, but clearly both of them good defensively, and neither of them probably feeling like they've had great opportunities for good shots that they feel fully confident in.
Of course, yeah, and that's just a testament to both of their hand fights and respect for one another.
So as we're winding down, we're hitting the final 10 seconds here of this period. Still zeros up on the scoreboard. The Yellow Jackets leading as a team 27-0. Of course, you're watching and listening here on BWYellowJackets.com. As we're about to get the second period underway, a reminder that tonight's Yellow Jacket wrestling match is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, proud medical provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, as well as Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. There's the escape, and a quick point there at the start of the second period for Kipnewski.
Really quick escape there for Kopnewski, which is big. In matches like this, the littlest bit of riding time can play a factor, or how much you can ride a guy out just to drain a little bit more energy out on him is huge.
Well, a lot could change over these next two periods, but really especially when you're looking at what appears to be more of a defensive battle between these two wrestlers. 1 point is a huge difference maker, so that escape, again, could be crucial for Kopnewski. Again, it was only 5 seconds of riding time that Whitten got as well, so really neither wrestler having any advantage when it comes to trying to get a riding time point.
Of course, and when you're at this level of athlete, getting out that quick can definitely help a lot. Could potentially take a little bit of steam out of the other wrestler who might have had in their game plan to ride out in the second or get a turn potentially. So definitely big there, leading in Kopnewski's favor here.
.40 seconds remaining in the second period. Still 1-0 for Kopnewski.
Both guys still just got that heavy hand fight. Both guys really battling it out there. Not many shot attempts, but both still just trying to wear on each other, banging on the head and everything.
It almost seemed like that time where Whitten had that really quick spin and how well Kopnewski defended that. Since then, Whitten's been maybe a little bit more conservative and not going after it. I think maybe that was kind of maybe a wake-up call as well, that Kopnewski's ready for most anything you're going to throw at him. So seemed like Whitten was the initial aggressor in this match, but he's really kind of backed off a little bit as these two have been battling it out, really hand fighting and really in neutral positions there in the middle of the mat. Now Kopnewski will be in the top position. 5 seconds of riding time going to go away for Whitten, and we'll see how long Kopnewski stays on top and tries to keep him down. Again, an escape point would tie this thing up here in the third period.
And Kopnewski's pretty tough here from the top position, showing that off here. Not getting too many turn attempts here, but definitely riding, which could play a factor if Whitten does get out to his feet. His riding time's getting real close to that half-minute mark.
So Tanner, obviously you're a former wrestler yourself, of course wrestled here at Baldwin Wallace, now a coach as well, an assistant at Ohio Wesleyan, now being on the coaching realm and the coaching aspect, and if you were shouting out instructions to your guys out there on the mat, if you're the Yellow Jackets and Kopnewski here in this position, would you try to really get that riding time point and just have him ride this entire period if possible?
Oh, absolutely. I know we're big. I get it from the Yellow Jackets, and I breed it into my guys, is just getting that wrist, staying underneath the arms and controlling wrist here, because even if you ride out, let's say even take one stall, maybe even two stalls, that riding time point's just huge, and not being too risky and going for a turn and maybe getting reversed. Sometimes against high-level opponents, you gotta get that ride out. And it's looking like that's what the strategy was here for Kopnewski here, and he's doing a great job as the clock's winding down.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets team loving this right now. Coaching staff loving it. Kopnewski doing a great job against Whitten, and Whitten has really not been able to get off of the mat. And that riding time is locked up, so it's going to be a riding time point, and really a decision in 3 points against a high-level opponent is always a huge victory for your team. And Kopnewski did exactly what he needed to do in the second period and will win this one 2-0. 3 more team points for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and that's huge up against one of Otterbein's best guys here. That's huge to propel the momentum in the Yellow Jackets' favor even further and really take it out of Otterbein there.
So 30-0 now for the Yellow Jackets. And we move to the 174-pound weight class. Carter Lloyd, the sophomore out of Brecksville, up against Logan Hormel, the freshman out of Youngstown. Lloyd looking to get in on the leg there.
Lloyd really controlling center here, looking like he might be the aggressor here to start the match. in on a second shot attempt here.
So we went from a match at 165 in to veteran upperclassmen guys to now 2 underclassmen in Lloyd, who's a sophomore, and of course then the freshman in Cormel. So a little bit of a different feel, but 2 young guys that, you know, unless they are changing weight classes significantly, they might see each other quite a bit over the next 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing to consider, especially with a conference and regional opponent. Whenever you can get those wins and notch it in their head is huge.
So looking to get 2 points, still nothing yet. Just a stalemate there, and going to return to the neutral position, middle of the mat.
And if you're Otterbein here, this might not even be the worst strategy. As you said before, maybe not taking shots just because they are high-level opponents here. So might not be the worst strategy here, especially if you're not giving up stall calls, just sort of to keep yourself in the match, because if you don't get scored on, you're in every match. So not a bad strategy if you're the Otterbein coaching staff here against some of the Yellow Jackets.
You know, and it seems like it's really been at most weight classes anyway that like we talked about, that Otterbein seems to really just trying to defend, you know, not allow the Yellow Jackets to get those takedowns and do whatever you can to keep it close. And it seems like Cormel has the same strategy that Whitten had in the previous match as well.
Very similar. Gets a slide by, looking to get a takedown here. Lloyd could be in trouble here.
Still nothing yet. And there's the 2 points now. Signal on that takedown there for Cormel.
Lloyd showing some flexibility here for sure.
Tough position for Lloyd, but able to turn his body enough. Under a minute remaining here in this period.
Ooh, Lloyd in a bad spot here.
Cormel doing a great job.
Yeah, just readjusting. For people who don't know, college out of bounds, you could have the slightest of a toe and then you can get a fall here.
Right now Cormel just, and that foot looks like it just slipped out of the circle there. I think the official was looking over to his right, missed the foot slip out really quickly, but credit to Cormel to know that his foot came out, stuck it right back in. So as soon as the official looked.
Yeah, really smart mat awareness there for a freshman too, and did a great job. Just kind of stayed really patient, sort of scored off of Lloyd's pressure, and it led to a 6-0 here as Lloyd's going to try to get a quick escape here, which is almost necessary here with 11 seconds left.
And that's when you don't really envy the job of an official going solo on a mat, because he can't look at everything at the same time. So 6 points now for Cormel. Really nice lead at the end of the first period. Also a minute and 10 seconds of riding time. So Cormel, the freshman here at the 174-pound weight class, has to be feeling pretty good here at the moment, but looks like there might be a cut, and a little bit of a break there is cleaning up a little bit of blood, and we will step aside here on bwyellowjackets.com from wrestling action for a second. But a reminder that tonight's Yellow Jacket wrestling match is being brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider, and Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. We'll be right back as we get wrestling action started once again. Still in a timeout here on BWYellowJackets.com. The pause in the 174-pound weight class match between Logan Cormel and Carter Lloyd. Again, looked like Cormel had a cut over the eyebrow, and training staff took him back to the locker room, still working on that. As soon as we get things going, we'll be right back here on BWYellowJackets.com. But for right now, hold on tight. We'll be back shortly. And we're back here on BWYellowJackets.com. Good to see Logan Cormel coming out of the locker room. Pretty intense wrap around the head as, hopefully they're able to get the bleeding stopped enough. But again, able to get him wrapped up and be able to continue. This is Cormel. Here at the start of the second period, really a really excellent first period for him. Has 6 points to 0 for Carter Lloyd. And now we'll see, what happens after that break. Again, a long time that we were away from wrestling, and of course Cormel back there really getting that eyebrow taken care of, as I had that cut, and of course we had the blood stoppage time. A matter of, will this change the course of this match?
Yeah, and something like that just like totally shifts the mindset of both guys. Like I said, over break, Lloyd might be a little dazzled after the 6 points he gave up, was on his back fighting for almost a minute, and Cormella might be a little energized, but now it's almost like restarting here, and Cormella might be nervous about bleeding again, and Lloyd's looking to be offensive, so both guys are basically just back up with full energy here.
Of course, want to thank everybody who has hung with us here, watching and listening live on BWYellowJackets.com. Cole McDaniel with me tonight, Tanner McHugh. There was that one escape point just a moment ago for Carter Lloyd. So 6-1 now, a minute remaining here in this period, and time for Lloyd to go to work and try to find a way to get some points here.
Well, they're just doing a good job of just staying strong here. He knows Lloyd's got to go, and he's not really backing down too much, maybe a few steps back, but it's almost working into his style a little bit.
Cormel sprawling back a little bit there on the edge of the mat. And again, going out side of that cylinder there, and now both wrestlers return back to the middle in the neutral position. Cormel has a minute and 25 seconds of riding time to this point. The Yellow Jackets leading as a team 30-0. Again, trying to keep the shutout going for the Yellow Jackets, but Lloyd has a long way to go, but that's going to help. 2 points on the takedown.
And that's huge there. That's what you're looking to do there in the second period. Just take some steam out here, get a takedown here, and definitely need to secure the ride out here, not to give Cornell an extra point.
Cornell tried to escape right at the end of the period, but Lloyd did a great job holding him back, returning him to the mat. And now Cornell just holds a 3-point advantage, 6-3 over Lloyd. 2 minutes up on the clock. Third and final period here of this match. And Cornell will be working from the down position, and an opportunity right now for Lloyd. Assume he'll try to knock off just a little bit more time here, really making it difficult for Cornell to get a riding time point, but you'll see him give up the escape, and time to start getting some shots. Need to trade 2s for 1s.
Yeah, gonna have to get a takedown here, which would be big, but gonna need more than just one, or potentially one to back. Carmelo can't take out the offense though, because give up a couple stalls and it won't be good either. Looks like Lloyd's really looking there for a turn here.
So 7-5 now, as Lloyd got the 2 points on the takedown, right on the edge of the mat now. And it looks like going to let Cornell go. Keep him on the edge of the mat there, so there's the 1 point for Cornell. Now 8-5. And Lloyd looking to take a shot here very shortly.
Cornell once again just doing a good job. Not looking like he's stalling too much, just holding position. Lloyd is taking all the offense though, but I will say that is one good thing about Cornell. You cannot take a bad shot against him here. Has a really good head-hands defense here.
Well, momentum's definitely been swinging this match here in the last period and really after that blood timeout, but credit to Cornell. Despite everything going on, probably feeling a little bit cold going out here again. He's done a good job fending off some of those attacks from Lloyd.
Yeah, really good job here. Once again, back to that front head though. Using up a lot of time, which is working in his favor. Yeah. Lloyd looking to work up here though. First stall call.
There is that stall, as you mentioned. And both wrestlers just out on the edge of the mat. They'll return back to the middle of the floor now, and 8-5 still the score. 24 seconds left, and the crowd here for the Yellow Jackets cheering on Lloyd.
Gonna have an exciting 24 seconds here, I feel like.
Lloyd trying to work quick, unable to get in on that shot, fended off well by Cornell. The freshman from Youngstown went to South Range looking for the first team points for Otterbein, and there's a stalemate there. Both wrestlers will return back to the middle in neutral position with 8 seconds left. Something crazy is going to happen for Carter Lloyd to get this done.
Got to look to push the pace here, get a stall. There it is. Now takedown will tie it up.
2 seconds, need the takedown, and not going to get it. So by a score of 8-6, the decision for Logan Cornell. Credit to the freshman from Youngstown, and after that long stretch of time, we finally wrapped up at the 174-pound weight class, and the Yellow Jackets hold a 30-3 team lead.
Crazy conclusion to that match there. Crazy start, crazy finish, but just a long break in there in between. And yeah, it's interesting to think we're only a weight class up. Feels like it's been a lot longer.
Now, will that break really affect this 184-pound weight class? Griffin Rathburn, the senior from New Albany, up against Kyle DeMoss, junior from Hilliard. And a quick 2 points for Rathburn.
Both guys here from the Columbus area. Not sure if they wrestled in high school, but potentially some familiarity even beyond the college level.
You see a lot of that in the Ohio Athletic Conference as well. Really a good conference where, I mean, you're pulling guys from different states and different areas, but still, when you look at the Ohio guys, there's a lot of Ohio wrestlers that stay in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Local guys to Northeast Ohio and in Central Ohio. So a lot of these wrestlers not only seeing each other here in college, but they have seen each other in high school as well, as you mentioned.
Oh, yeah. And being a guy from Pennsylvania, when I came out here, I didn't know too many of the schools around, but all my teammates were like, yeah, we used to wrestle them in high school, school. So that is such a true statement.
So right now, Rathburn still working in that top position since that takedown happened very early here in this first period. Now, over a minute of riding time, racked up on the scoreboard to this point. Still a 2-0 advantage for Rathburn. A minute and 20 seconds remaining here in the period.
Looks like the ref was going to call potentially dangerous there. Jacket coaches and fans definitely not happy.
Yeah, it looked like had to do with that left arm, the left shoulder there for Kyle DeMoss.
Looks like we have a little bit more blood time here. Doesn't look like as serious as the last one, hopefully.
No, it looked like maybe just a little scrape on the base of the hand or the wrist or so. Looked like that was quickly wiped up for Kyle DeMoss. Now we'll get this going again as center of the mat. Rathburn still working from that top position. Maybe an opportunity to continue to add on to the riding time here in the first period.
Yeah, Rathburn just putting on a really good ride here, just wearing on DeMoss. Can't get much going from the bottom position, which is boasting well here as he's looking to get some back points here as Rathburn.
In tough position, DeMoss able to get back to his stomach. But again, the 4 back points there for Rathburn, now leading 6-0.
It always helps when you're wearing on a guy if you can be dimensional, get those turns, and Rathburn's just doing a great job. Definitely going to be interesting to see if it gets to DeMoss's choice what he's going to do. Rathburn's dominated the top position, so might see him choose top or neutral potentially. And first stall call goes up against him.
Yeah, and already in this first period, DeMoss probably getting worn down a little bit by this strong ride by Rathburn. Almost the entirety of the first period, Rathburn's been working on top, and DeMoss has really been on his stomach, face down, and that's a tough way to go for the entirety of the first period. Really means that you're probably going to be a little bit tired going into the second.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, even though it might not seem as draining on the bottom position, you're constantly working to try and get up, and when you're just constantly kept down and turned, it's a little demoralizing and just really draining on here. It looks like DeMoss is trying to get something going, though.
So 6-0 again at the end of the first period. Start of the second now. 2 minutes and 42 seconds of riding time up on the board for Rathburn. These wrestlers start in the neutral position in the middle of the mat.
Rathburn doing just a good job here. Hand fighting in on another shot attempt here.
Finishes that move off for the 2 points there on the takedown. 8-0. 1 minute remaining in the second period, and going to quickly let up DeMoss, it looks like. Let him have the escape point and go back in to try to get another takedown.
And I think that's smart here. I think just sort of a play to grow Rathburn here a little bit. Did a great job on top, and now coaching staff wants to see him go neutral, even though he could have potentially got a turn on top, but with plenty of time left here, and there it is, in on another shot attempt. Right to his back almost.
And just trying to turn DeMoss. Doing a great job with the hips of getting him turned there. It's going to at least result in back points. See if it results in anything more. 30 seconds up on the clock here in the second period.
Really good job there for Rathburn, just going from one attack to another from 2 different positions. That's what you got to do. Best way to score is right after you score again, because opponent just isn't expecting it.
And so there are the 4 back points. Score is now 14-1, And that's going to do it for the second period. We move to the third, and 3 minutes and 35 seconds of riding time racked up for Rathburn. And have to say, it looked like about halfway through the second period, you saw on Rathburn's face, really the coaching staff knew exactly what they wanted as well. There's really two things they're looking for here. It's get the pin, get the fall, and if you don't, have the points in a position where you at least get the tech fall, and that's exactly what Rathburn's going for.
Absolutely here, another takedown, unless it's right to his back, is going to do it. Let's see here, and looks like DeMoss just going to fall, so he doesn't give up the 6 here, and there's another bonus point victory for the Yellow Jackets.
So there's the technical fall, 5 points for the Yellow Jackets. Well done, 17-2 there for Rathburn. The 184-pound weight class. And now we move to 197, fourth ranked Doug Byrne, the senior from Wycliffe, against Jared Setliff, senior from Medina.
Got two former regional placers, obviously Byrne, a national qualifier. Setliff no slouch though, very impressive season so far. Two very athletic-looking 197s, that's for sure. Both guys moving around like 125s out there.
Yeah, Byrne, a big guy, obviously. Know the weight, but again, pretty tall. Tall wrestler, and just a great build. And you mentioned it that Setliff, physically gifted as well. You can tell. Not the heaviest set-looking 197-pounder out there, and moves quite well. An experienced guy, and a senior. We're looking at two seniors going up against each other.
Setliff gonna strike first here, again a takedown here. Just doing a nice job of staying patient against Byrne here.
So the 2 points, as you mentioned, for Setliff, as the Yellow Jackets are up 35-3 as a team.
Well, quick start there for Setliff, and if you're Setliff here, going up against a guy like Byrne, ranked top 5 in the country, you gotta try to take some steam out of him here, and yeah, do something there from the top position here. As Byrne's looking really close to getting the escape here, as he does.
Yeah, Byrne really made that look easy, and that seemed to be a little bit credit to his height and the length that he has. I mean, was able to step out of that quickly and got the escape. Now 2-1 in favor of Setliff, and Byrne kind of really stalking Setliff a little bit there, but Setliff wants to take another shot. Byrne sprawls back.
Looks like Byrne's looking for his signature cradle here. Setliff probably knows what's coming just from familiarity. Now potentially just going for the 2 here. Setliff staying strong. And there's the takedown for Byrne to switch the tide in his favor.
And have to give a lot of credit to Setliff again, really coming out almost like the aggressor through the first period as well. He's taking a couple of those initial shots, and it worked out for him the first time. That last one backfired a little bit. Byrne handled it well, fended it off well, and then managed to get the 2 points. Now Byrne up 3-2, and opportunity to put some riding time up on the board himself now.
Yeah, Byrne doing a really good job here. Just a little bit of difference here. Gets his takedown, goes right into the ride here. Setliff had to get the restart here, but could play a huge factor rather going in 3-3 into the second, going in 3-2 with riding time clicking in your favor.
15 seconds remaining here in the first period. 3-2 in favor of Byrne.
Yeah, really great ride here off of the takedown. Just going to be shy of the minute of riding time, but that's could be a great way to slow down Setliff here.
And after a good start there for Setliff, Byrne has to feel good about how he finished off that period. And now Byrne going to start in the down position, start of the second period. Setliff can see if he can cut into any of that 56 seconds of riding time. And Setliff, that's the second time he's tried to get a little bit of an early start, and I think that's just credit to the ability of Doug Byrne, and Setliff aware that it's hard to keep Byrne down.
Yeah, absolutely. And another caution there would be a point for Byrne. So Setliff's got to be careful there on those quick starts. That'd be crucial in a match like this against two high-level opponents. Every point matters.
So 4-2, now the score.
And early on in the match, Byrne was really being the aggressor, just sort of charging at Setliff here, sort of working at Setliff's advantage. Now Byrne's sort of tying him up here. Feels like he has a better vantage point there when he's in his ties moving forward rather than letting Setliff dictate everything.
So just a little over a minute remaining here in the period. Setliff very much so still in this match at the moment. But Byrne looking to get in for another 2 points. Nothing yet. There's the 2.
Almost overpowering him there. Might have been from that first period ride out. Setliff didn't have as much energy there as before. And really good rebound here for Byrne. Giving up that early takedown, it shows a lot in what a wrestler is capable of, and now he's leading 6-2 with Ryan time. Just kind of kept his composure and whittled away at it.
And Byrne, just a really talented wrestler, but you know, I know they all have to make their weight at weigh-ins here at the 197-pound class, any weight class. But Byrne just looks bigger than most 197 pounds out there, just the way he's built. Such a large frame, and the way he moves his opponents as well is so impressive.
Yeah, and that just testament to, I'm sure he just loves the weight room, and gotta love probably dieting too to get down to 197 the right way and still keep the frame. But yeah, I agree. It looks very big for the weight class, and yeah, it is 197. But yeah, just up next to Setliff, there is a noticeable difference.
Yeah, I know. I say it about every time. Obviously, you know, loves the weight room, but seems to love the hair as well. You know, got the nice curly, flowing hair as well. Again, you don't see that from, I think, too many of the wrestlers out there, but Byrne certainly a staple for him, it seems to be in recent times.
Absolutely, yeah. It's crazy to think freshman year, no hair at all, and now one of the craziest hairs in college wrestling.
So 8-2 now in favor of Byrne. 1.5 minutes remaining here in this final period. Nearly 2 minutes of riding time to this point.
And now Byrne looking to sort of make a statement after giving up the opening takedown. Now he's starting to get to his leg attacks, really own the match here. Sneaking into major decision territory.
So Byrne, as he had the takedown, tried to get Setliff turned to his back, but Setliff did a good job getting to his stomach. The escape, and Byrne wants more. Looking to get another 2, and he does. Now 12-4. Here's the quick escape, and Setliff, despite a great start in the first period, Byrne's ability just starting to take over.
Yeah, and that really, a lot of things kind of could pile into that. Just sort of potentially Setliff knew who he was going up against. I'm sure it's hard not to, but the nerves could have just got to him, got real excited after that opening takedown, and it might have just all started to weigh on him. And obviously you're going up against Doug Byrne, who's going to do a lot of things to wear on you too. So just a combination of things could have led into this.
So 14-5, riding time is locked up at this point. So at minimum going to be 15-5. So it'd fall in the major decision situation right now, and it seems at this point Byrne, unless he gets the fall and makes a move here in the last 7 seconds, looks like it is going to be a major decision.
And real impressive there for Byrne, like we said. Gave up that opening takedown, but it was all Byrne after that.
So there's the 4 points for the Yellow Jackets. As a team, they go up 39-3, and we move to the heavyweight division. But before we do so, a reminder that tonight's Yellow Jacket wrestling match is being brought to you by Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics, Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, the home of the Monday Night Athletics Roadshow, Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. As we turn to the heavyweights, it's Matthew Wirtz, the senior from Buffalo, up against Zach Stray, the sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky.
Should be a fun matchup here between two heavyweights. Wirtz might not be the most traditional heavyweight here, and then see the matchup in styles here, which ones could get the best of them.
Yeah, Stray appears to be a little bit more of that traditional heavyweight in how he's built. Again, you mentioned Wirtz not looking like the traditional heavyweight. Might actually have to use a little bit more speed and a little bit more quickness here in this match. And at this point, the senior has tried to be the aggressor, has thought about a couple shots, just hasn't fully committed.
Yeah, and we're slowly seeing in wrestling just the tradition to a more toned and quick and athletic heavyweight. 197s might not want to drop down anymore and are bumping up. I know Wirtz has spent time at 184 and 197 in his career, now making the full jump up to heavyweight. So just ultimately depends on the style and if they're willing to commit to the weight room and everything.
Well, I think a lot of that change here seems to be in the last 5 years where that's changed quite a bit. I'd say Kyle Snyder, who was at Ohio State, was one of those main guys that changed to, hey, you know, I can be jacked and be a heavyweight. So that was probably a guy that maybe started to turn that a little bit, but you're right.
And there we saw Wirtz get the opening takedown there on the single leg here. Going to look to work on top.
So the 2 points now for Wirtz. Up 2-0. A minute and a half remaining in the first period.
Looks like Wirtz is doing a great job on top, looking to collect those wrists like we've been talking about. Just putting on a great ride here, making it really difficult.
So a good ride so far at the moment. 30 seconds at the moment for Wirtz. And Stray really hasn't been able to get off of his stomach, off of his chest at this point. Head turned, pressed down against the mat.
And I think that might be one of the biggest things from tonight, just the Yellow Jackets' ability to ride in a lot of matches, and then just their diverse way of scoring, whether it's from the top, bottom, or neutral position. That's really made a huge difference in this bout.
Yeah, and part of that's the power of what's done in the wrestling room.
Absolutely.
You know, when you're wrestling against your teammates and you're going to work, and really across the board, everybody's been doing a great job with those ride times. And there's the pin, the fall to end this thing tonight. What a finish there for Matthew Wirtz. 6 points for the Yellow Jackets, and they'll wrap this thing up 45-3 over the Otterbein Cardinals. What a finish, Tanner.
Gotta love ending a duel on a pin. I know heavyweights are known for their pinning capability, and it was great to see the Yellow Jackets get it there and end the duel on a huge high note.
Absolutely. So before we go, we'll talk about what's coming up next for both of these squads. But Tanner, your analysis, your final thoughts on what you saw for the Yellow Jackets tonight.
I think the Yellow Jackets just went out there, and they might have known that the foe wasn't going to be the biggest test, but they went out there and got it done. They chased bonus points, which is what you got to do in late February, early March. They put on the rides when they had to. They went out there and got that winning takedown or takedown to get the major when they had to, and they just did the right things when it was hard, and it was great to see, and definitely some Yellow Jacket style wrestling like we always love to see. And for Otterbein, a program we talked about before the duel here tonight, we talked about how they're an improving, growing program. Obviously, tonight doesn't necessarily show that on the scoreboard, but of course, when you forfeit the first two matches, again, it already puts you behind the 8 ball. We actually saw some good wrestling from quite a few guys on that Otterbein side. They've had a lot of good wrestling in the last few weeks. Again, expect them to still make some noise throughout the rest of the season in the OAC. Of course, yeah, and if you're Otterbein, a program that's growing relatively young, like we said, these are the tests you want. You're going to take a lot away from here, and obviously they're going to see the Yellow Jackets again, and these are just the tests you want to see moving forward here. Can't always have the easiest schedule, but it's good to get the top level opponents in your schedule. So this Saturday, every single Ohio Athletic Conference wrestling squad will be in action. There's going to be 2 quads in the OAC quad at Alliance. That's between Mount Union, Heidelberg,
Wilmington, and Otterbein. And then for the Yellow Jackets, again, that is going to be a fun one. That's actually going to be at the ONU Sports Center. 17th ranked Ohio Northern, 12th ranked John Carroll, Muskingum, and 5th ranked Baldwin Wallace. 3 top 25 squads up there, and like I said, you got to feel sorry for Muskingum a little bit. That's a tough test going up against all 3 of those this Saturday.
Absolutely, and I remember last year Muskingum actually hosted it, and those duels were absolutely electric, and all the squads have gotten even better since then from a numeric and numbers standpoint. So it's going to be electric again, I think. And ONU, they're a great wrestling school as well, so I'm sure they'll have a great crowd there from everybody and also the visiting schools. So it's going to be exciting if you can end up tuning in and watching it.
Well, everybody, thanks again for watching and listening live here on BWYellowJackets.com. That's going to do it for us as the Yellow Jackets wrap this up 45-3 over the Otterbein Cardinals. For myself, Cole McDaniel, for Tanner McHugh, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week.